this is the first phase, right? We are not going to be working one shot, one time, and then say, okay, we've done it, goodbye. Every year we meet. By the way, we talk all the time. And if you have ever had some tag cases, you know that sometimes you get to these strange situations where it might be an issue on your configuration, it might be an issue on the device, it might be on the AP. We're not so sure. And sometimes if you had iOS devices, to open a tag case in Cisco, and then open a radar case in the Apple world. And now we have this relationship, so we can also talk directly together between engineers. And we found that way, we find multiple things which are not clear in the protocol because nothing has been ever said to clarify how the thing was supposed to work. And there are differences in the way we implement it or the client implements it, and special cases where this thing doesn't work exactly the way it should. And because of that dialogue, we are able to solve these gaps in the protocol much faster. Also, year 2 was solving those two fundamental things, right? Roaming on one and QoS on the second one. But for year 2, we say now, there are many things we can solve, many more things we can solve. Sadly, I cannot tell you more about that, otherwise I would have to kill everybody on YouTube and you all here, which is not very practical. But we are working together, we're exchanging together. We have tons of ideas and things that we are working in the background in our labs that we are going to announce sometime later this year. But that the awareness I want to convey is that we keep on working together to improve things. There are many more ideas we have, many more things that we can do to make Wi-Fi together. Our hope is that momentum we're creating together will have so much leverage that when you will be using those devices, you will not even need to think about connecting anymore. You just turn them on, they will be connecting, you'll be roaming, and you will not even have to care whether what key it is, if you are roaming, if you are on cellular, if you are on Wi-Fi. These devices will simply work on Wi-Fi just like they work on cellular. You just turn them on and they will do the job, and you'll be able to do any applications you need on those devices without having to care about the Wi-Fi side of things. The day you forget about us, we will have achieved our mission.
Just a quick question, because I saw the MacBook in the background.
Yes.
So that was iOS specific, so mobile devices. Are you also working on some optimization for the MacBooks?
Okay, so the question is, what about MacBooks? This is iOS, and we'll be talking on iOS. Thank you. It's a difficult question, but I'll go back to you after. So yeah, seriously, yes, it's iOS first because our common vision is that those devices are necessarily mobile. They are, right? Those devices are likely mobile, but not necessarily. So we said the first thing we have to solve is for these guys. Once these guys are taken care of, now why don't we expand what we can do on those guys, and don't we expand on those guys as well? So I'm not saying we're going to copy-paste the same features on MacBook because I don't know if they have the same problem. Well, I know, but I cannot tell you if we have the same problems. But definitely macOS is not ignored. We just decided to prioritize iOS because that was the first critical line of improvements we wanted to make. But we are having the conversation on all the OSs, iOS and MacBook, and we have definitely a lot of plans for the MacBooks as well.
I agree with you for the roaming part. I think also mostly laptops are static, yeah. But if you go for the quality of service side of things and prioritization, I think this is also applicable to laptops, yeah.
Yes, so absolutely agree. The comment is for roaming, yeah, these guys probably more mobile than the devices, the laptops. But the laptop for QoS have a big need. Yes, they have a big need. I 100% agree with you. And also think that the difference in power also create different issues that we have to solve, based on the laptop behavior that we don't have there and vice versa. So yeah, QoS is definitely something which is prevalent everywhere, but also Wi-Fi optimization. There may be some optimizations there we can do that are not necessary here. So yeah, there is a lot of things. But to your first question, yes, those are definitely something we have in mind. Yeah, absolutely, yes.
To get Fastlane, is there a specific version you have to be on or upgrade the APs to?
Oh, thank you, yes. To get Fastlane, what code do we have to be on? So on the OS, iOS 10, anything that runs iOS 10 has Fastlane. On our wireless LAN controller, you need to have 8.3 code, which is the code that came out last July, or anything after, right? We have 8.4 that's going to come out in a few weeks, 8.3, MR1, etc. So 8.3 and up will have this Fastlane feature.
Is Fastlane continually tweaked as the new versions come out?
So I would say tweaking, so the question is Fastlane tweaked as the new versions come out? Yes, I would say yes. For example, we had the AVC background association that we were doing. We refined the way we make that association so that you can push different type of policies based on your requirements. So we have some tweakings that we do, but the whole logic stays the same, but there are fine tweakings that we do from one code to the next one. So you'll see A3MR, we have a slightly different way of mapping AVC to Fastlane. The way we display also the functions in the controller is changed because based on customer feedback, we found that maybe showing it slightly differently will make it more intuitive. So those things are being tweaked from one code to the other, absolutely.
One last question, is that also optimized in Meraki?
Question is, it also optimized in Meraki? Yes. So Meraki has a different approach from Cisco Aeronet. We like in Cisco Aeronet to show all the knobs so you can customize exactly the engine the way you like it. In Meraki, they say, well, we don't want to make it too complicated, so we're going to optimize it directly, and then we display the result. So Fastlane and Adaptive 11R are in Meraki. Adaptive 11R is not visible because it's on, it's just there. Fastlane is there, you see it in the MDM, you also see it in the SSID. They are in a rolling phase, so maybe not all networks you may be looking at will have that feature already, but they are pushing the updates sequentially to customers. But yeah, it's definitely being deployed as we speak, so many customers already have it and they keep on deploying it, so it's going to be everywhere, yes. Yeah.